Hey everyone, it's just Code the Rising Phoenix Dev, and today we're going to finish off one portion of From Novelization to Code, Animorphing, which will be the morphing side of this series. So we'll essentially be creating this, morphing from one thing to the next at runtime. So sit back, relax, and let's learn something new. So I've already created a folder called Novelization of Game Mechanics, Animorphing, Scripts. So what we're going to do here is we're first going to create a script. And let's change this to be called Morphing. Simple, straight to the point, we know what's happening. Let's reload the solution, a quick sanity check. Now, there are many ways to go about doing this. I'm going to go with the most straightforward and simple approach. It's not the most elegant, nor is it the best way to do it, but it serves our purpose rather well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create 5 public game objects. So public game object, and we're going to call this human, public game object. We're going to call this pig, public game object. We're going to call this one sheep, public game object, chicken, and public game object, duck. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let's add another one. Just because I do have an asset pack that covers 5 animals. So public game object cow. Now what we're going to do here, always save, is we're going to create a void conversion. Yes, there we go. And what we're going to do is we're just going to say if a certain input is taken, we're going to morph into this. So let's do if input dot get key down, and we're going to make this one key code W. And we're just going to copy this and paste it a few times. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to type destroy, and we're going to type game object. Now what this does is it will destroy the game object that this is attached to, right then and there. Then the next thing we're going to do is game object pig equals or set to game object. Then we're going to say instantiate pig, there we go, transform dot position, transform dot rotation. So we're basically instantiating this pig object at runtime with the position and the rotation that's already set on the game object. Now you'll see that Visual Studio pops up saying the cast is redundant, which is basically saying, hey, remove game object. We don't want to. So now we can just copy and paste this just to make our lives easier. Since we've done the copy and paste for everything else, the next key code will be A, and we're going to instantiate sheep. So again, same thing. Gonna do S next, and we're gonna, we should change sheep. Yes, rename pig to sheep. This one is going to be chicken with the name chicken. We're going to call this one D. After chicken, we have duck. Duck. Next up, we're going to do X. human, human, and then the last one we're going to do C. And this will be cow and cow. There. So yes, the code is fairly redundant. We could make a method that handles all of this for us, and then we just plug it into where we need it and cast the correct game object. But we're not going to do that. Like I said, simplest, quickest, easiest solution. Then next up, we're going to do void update. And we're just going to call conversion. Done. So now, what we're going to do here is we're going to create an empty game object, which I've already done, and then attach morphing to it. Remove that. And now, the fun part. What we're going to need to do here is we're going to need to have a reference to all of our prefabs. So I'm going to go here into my downloaded assets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show in folder. And the reason for this is to make it super simple. Animorphing scripts. We're going to create a new folder here called prefabs. We're going to go into it. Now let's open back up that. What we're going to do here is we're just going to drag this there. Good. Next up, we're also going to need vertex. Just going to copy that. Copy paste doesn't work. Okay, fine. We'll do it the easy way. Assets, tutorials, novelization, prefabs. There, we'll just copy it into the folder. Now Unity will update. So we have our T-pose, we have our... And now what we want to do with that T-pose is throw it there. Move that back into downloaded assets. And then we're going to copy that prefab there. So that way we have the prefab itself. So now with each of these, we are going to need to add the script. Morphing. So all of these require that morphing script. So I'm just going to type morphing. So that way, all I have to do is click add component, morphing. 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 And morphing. Now for the very boring part. With all of these, we have to add the prefabs to them. So let's start with chicken, then cow, then duck, then pig, sheep, human. And we're going to do this for all of them. Human, pig, sheep, chicken, duck, and cow. Human, pig, sheep, chicken, duck, cow. Halfway there. Human, pig, sheep, chicken, duck, and cow. Human, pig, sheep. Yes, I'm falling asleep doing this. This is boring. Duck and chicken. chicken, human, pig, sheep, chicken, duck, and cow. And finally, the last one, this game object itself. Human, pig, sheep, chicken, duck, and cow. There. And now, all we need to do is run it. And what's going to happen? We press W, the pig appears. A, the sheep appears. S, the chicken appears. D, the duck appears. X, the human appears. And C, the cow appears. Super simple, and that's all pretty much rule 1. Minus the time limit, which we could then implement, but this is the base mechanic for the novelization. Just doing the standard morphing. If you would like for me to go further and extend this for adding the time limits and the remainder of the rules, leave a comment below.